And so we built out live office hours, more one-on-one time with the Interact team. So now when you sign up for a call, you get when you sign up for a plan, you get a free strategy call. And then you have access to the community where you can ask what you want to ask, when you want to ask it, whenever that might be. You don't have to wait for a certain cohort or a certain group to get together to get the information that you need. So I say all of that because that was sort of the evolution of our community. Today, we have an expert in the community that helps us with Facebook ads. So Facebook ads pairs really well with quizzes, but when I was trying to help people run ads, I had never run a Facebook ad personally before. And so I was getting caught with well, not caught, but I wasn't able to answer some of the questions that people really wanted to know. So we brought in a Facebook ads expert to help lead those conversations. And so what I'm going to show you now is, let me just open up our community. I can share a screen in here, right?
Yep, here on below to the
perfect.
Screen sharing.
So I bring up so this is our community, and if you have any questions on it, I can go into specific spaces and talk about channels that have transformed, that are still here from the beginning, or maybe that we've added since as we've learned in growing this. But I want to show you here, Facebook ads support. We actually embedded an Interact quiz in here, and this is something that we're still testing out. So actually I haven't looked at the analytics in a minute, so we can do that together on this call if you're interested. But what we do is, when you join this channel, this is sort of the 8 steps that you need to take to run an effective Facebook ads campaign to your quiz. And so what I've done is, this is just a post within the community. It's pinned to the top, you can see. This is a cover image that we put in there because we really wanted to reiterate, if you don't know where you're at, pick number 1. Don't just start in the middle, because these are things that you're going to want to do in order to get to the next step, so you can do all 8 things to run this effective ad. So the way this is set up, and I'm sorry if this is confusing because maybe you've never seen an Interact quiz before, which I can also show you, but this is essentially just a 1-question quiz where we removed the quiz cover. We embedded it through the custom, I think it was custom HTML in Circle, in this little edit field, to embed this in here. And so this is the 1 question. It doesn't even have a question. It just gives the answers. And so if I say, okay, before I run my ads, I need to do that. When I click it, the quiz is automatically rerouting me to the post in the community of what you have to do in order to achieve this step, I guess we'll say. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
That is absolutely awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah,
One, can you just walk through how you embedded?
Yeah. Let me go
I believe
back
it's
to
in
the
the
share
post
screen.
settings.
It is. And
So just for everyone to kind of see the step by step.
Yeah, this was fun because actually I've been wanting to embed a quiz into our community for a while. I actually want to put one on the homepage. So when you first log in, you have a very easy way of here's where I'm at. Now it takes you to the section of the community that you need, rather than you having to read about the different sections and figure out which one you should go to. And a member of our Quiz Collective community, I talked about Circle, went over and created her own membership on Circle and asked in the Circle community about embedding quizzes. And I was like, oh, I would love to do this. Here's where I'm stuck. And I think it was Francisco who replied back, this custom HTML will work. And it did. So I just love the idea sharing that goes on here. What I want to do, I want to go back to this channel. I'm going to go into edit this post. And actually, I have to sign out because we have an admin account now. And you have to do this as an admin in order for this to work. So I go to Facebook Ad Support. I click on Edit this post. And then if I go to the settings, this right here, custom HTML, I grabbed the HTML code from Interact, pasted it in here, and then just hit done, and it worked. So I'll show you, actually I have to stop sharing and reshare so you can see. Oh, I almost hit the leave button. That would have been bad. I just want to show you
It's
from,
way too close, both
I
monitors.
know, and it's red. So I was like, oh, let me click that so I could stop sharing my screen and come back. Here I want to share. So this is our website. You log in right from the website. This quiz is in a different account also. So I go in here, and this is the quiz right here, the Facebook ads roadmap. So I'll just show you like from a back end of the quiz what this looks like how I built it in Interact. This is the quiz cover, which you could use, but I turned off because I didn't want someone to be in the community, have to click take quiz, and then answer this one question. I only wanted them to see this right here. So once I built this, I created results for each of the 8 steps that I showed you. And then I just click on redirect results, and I pasted in the link to the space in the community that I would want to reroute that person to. So when I clicked on before you run ads from the community, I went to this post specifically. It just rerouted me by clicking that answer or that part to this link. So then when I hit publish and then publish changes, I get this embed code option. So I just took the JavaScript right here, copy code, and I should just share my whole screen so I can switch tabs here. And then in here, I just pasted that embed code right here. So then when you hit done, it appears. You actually can't see it, which is a little, I was like, oh no, it doesn't work, but it doesn't appear, anything doesn't appear here. But when I hit save, the quiz is right here. And anytime, you'll notice, anytime I come back to this space, it always starts me at the beginning of the quiz again. So at any time somebody is coming through here, they're able to click in on where they left off or where they need to go to next. Yeah, this is not going to relate because this is one of our partners, but so I don't know that she even has a community, but I want to show you the setup of this. So this is on, and actually I can go back even one more. If I go to Shanti's website, this is a true example of an evergreen lead generation, leads to sales quiz. So her goal is to convert new leads that she's getting into buyers of the different offerings that she has. So on her website, static at the top is this announcement bar to take the quiz. So when I click this, it takes me to this landing page that talks about what I'm going to learn when I take the quiz. And then I'll just show you. It looks just like it looked within the community. Obviously, different pictures and questions and stuff. And then here's that opt-in form I was talking about. So this is where this is required. I can't skip it, but there is an option to make this skippable, so you don't have to subscribe. So when I click see my results, she's taking me to these quiz results. Now, I show this example because let's say you are wanting to use a quiz to grow leads and get people into your community. You could do that by sharing the quiz outside of the community, like on your website, on socials, wherever. And then in here say, okay, maybe you want to build this type of community, right? Or you're this style of community leader or something, or, whatever it relates, however it relates to the topic or of like what you're talking about to get people into the community. You could give as and I'm sorry for all the scrolling. This is a long result page. They do not have to be this long. I think she has, so she's giving a whole bunch of information on here on what to do. And then there's calls to action. So these calls to action could all lead them to your community, a specific community space to drive engagement, but also to grow the size of your community if that was a goal that you had. Did that answer your question? Sort of like a workaround answer to what you had said, but does that help, Pedro?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
If no one else has any questions, can I also do a follow-up as well?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm thinking about maybe using quizzes in lives like this one.
Mm-hmm.
If I create a quiz in Interact and share a link here on the chat, can we see live like the results? Or if I just refresh the page, how that
Yeah,
can
you
work?
can. Yeah, you can. So I'm going to share my screen again and go back into the builder. And sorry, I keep stop sharing. I come back to look at you all, and I don't want you to look at me looking at you, if that makes sense. So this is the Facebook ads roadmap quiz. So when I click on share and embed, I can just copy this link. So similar to how I just grabbed the embed code, I can just copy the link to the quiz. And then let's just see if I come back here in the chat, if I share the link, did that work? I don't know if it's not sending. But I mean, I see that you can send links in here, so it should work.
That's great. Try just adding maybe here's the link. Yeah.
Maybe because I'm sharing screen.
That's weird. Drew, can you try just sharing, just copying the link above and sharing here?
Yeah, where am I putting the link?
In the chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I don't have permission. I don't know, but you should be able to. You would just take the link from Interact, pop it into the chat, and then say, hey, everybody, go to the chat, take the quiz. And then what your analytics would look like, they are all in real time, so you'll get them right away, is if I go, again, to the quiz, and then I go to analytics, I can look at this for a specific date range. So I'm just going to put all time in here. And so what this is showing me is that, and so you can see, and this is what your analytics will look like for any quiz. On the overview, you can see how many people viewed the quiz. Now, this Facebook ads like roadmap one question thing that we put into here is only shared on this page. This is the only place that this quiz lives. So I know that 178 people have seen this quiz, or at least I can assume have clicked into the Facebook ad support base. So of all of my customers or members in the community, this is just good insight into this is a pretty popular channel. And so actually this is perfect. It's been exactly a month that this has been running because I clicked all time, and this was the first date that the quiz was published. So 178 people have viewed it. 51 people chose to start the quiz, meaning they've clicked one of the answers. So it's like registered as someone starting to take the quiz. Now, I only have one question. So if they clicked on it, they obviously completed it. And so we've routed 51 people from this Facebook ads main page to the specific spot in the community that they've needed. Now, I don't have lead generation turned on for this, so I can't see who were the people that actually clicked or who viewed and didn't click. But I could maybe add, and this is just something that maybe you would want to test or ask your members about. I don't know that. I guess I haven't really thought too much about doing it here because it's still kind of new for this specific example. But I could turn lead generation on so that when you answer the question, before it routes you to the right space of the community, I would collect your email. You can customize that opt-in form. So I could add language to say why I'm asking you for your email. It's simply so that I can get you more support, which I'm sure people would be okay with doing. And maybe just remind them like you're not going to be subscribed to like a newsletter or an email sequence or anything like that, if that's the case. And so I guess I'll stop here. Like this would be the overview of the analytics. You can also have people share it on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. We don't do that for this specific quiz. So you're not going to see any data here, and you're not going to see any leads collected because we don't have that turned on. But another really cool thing that you're able to see here is of these 51 people who did click an answer to that quiz, I can see what they chose. So most of the people are in the beginning of before you run ads, they're still setting this up. And then you can see as it goes down where they're at as they go. So like maybe we did all this work to create all of these ad graphics that people could use, but no one has clicked on that spot. Maybe I know that that's in another space in our community. So maybe they just already know where it is and they're finding it that way and not coming through the Facebook ad support page. But something to consider, maybe we shouldn't be spending a whole bunch of time creating graphics or these templates if people aren't even wanting or like looking for them kind of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In your quiz, bless you, bless you. You might want to do this within your community. Maybe it's a quiz that you use outside of your community. On our growth plan or above, you also get access to this question and answer data. Now, this isn't really going to help me because I only have one question and there's no cover to click start and then leave. Like you either click an answer to start the quiz or you don't. So I'm not going to see any drop off on this particular quiz. But I, what am I trying to say? I guess if you had multiple questions to ask, you could see again how people are answering the question, which for me in this case is the same as the result. So these numbers match, but also the drop off. So is there a certain question that people don't want to answer? Am I losing them at some part? And then I could go back to the quiz and optimize it. So maybe I move the question to a different spot in the quiz. Maybe I change the language. I add some images to it. I take it out, right? So you can make good updates based on what you've learned about your quiz takers from the analytics that you're seeing here.